In previous videos, I documented the polyurethane bushing failure in the BMR tubular spring perch A-arms I used on my 2000 Mustang GT Autocross car. A machinist and fellow autocrosser made me a set of custom Delrin Bushings to solve the problem. The last video in this series showcased the custom Delrin Bushings and offered up some install tips. This video covers the first test of the custom Delrin Bushings under autocross conditions. Earlier this year, I took my car to a test and tune. At this event, my focus was on the car, not my competition. At the test and tune, my 2000 GT had the same suspension settings as the last time it was autocrossed. The Delrin Bushings are the only difference in the suspension. I had driven about 200 miles on the street with the Delrin Bushings, but this was the first real beating they were going to get. Delrin is a much better bushing material than poly, so I was expecting improvements in turn-in, steering response, and composure. Here's my first run with the Delrin Bushings. It's about 60 degrees, the course is cold, and my tires are cold. I have a novice in the car, and I'm narrating as I drive. Real hot. No grip. So accelerating into, braking, getting around, right? It's a little tighter here, get around. Smooth arc, trying, sliding the front end. Braking, looking my way around the corner, feeding a little bit of throttle, no grip in the rear. Into the swallow, and we're braking, putting around, putting around, putting around. A little bit of braking, putting around, a little bit of braking, putting around. Four-wheel slide, so now my tires are hot. Right. I like what they're doing, putting around, and front end sliding out. Okay. 52.959. The cold tires and course made things pretty slick out there at first, but once my tires got up to temp, I could push the front end harder than I could with the poly bushings. And based on how the car felt on the back half of the course, I knew I could take and hold a tighter line while rolling onto the throttle earlier. That meant I could shorten the course and increase my duration of acceleration, both of which would improve my times. But on my second run, I quickly found out the rear end couldn't keep up with what the front end was capable of doing. Son of a... Good or bad, you know a new part has had an influence on your suspension setup if you need to adjust the suspension to compensate for that part. In this case, the car went from neutral to having oversteer, and getting on the gas earlier in a tighter turn made that oversteer worse. I softened the rear shocks a little to match the rear grip level to the front. That raised the overall grip level of the car, and it allowed me to take the tighter line and get on the gas earlier without spinning. I ended up doing 7 more runs. Here's my fastest. All right. 51.235. I chopped 1.7 seconds off my time and the car felt fantastic. Composure is everything when you're rapidly changing direction, going hard into a corner, or powering out of one. my 2000 GT felt more composed than it ever has. I noticed the benefits of the Delrin Bushings everywhere on course. The steering was much tighter and the feedback was way more precise. The car reacted faster to steering inputs, and the steering felt more consistent in transitions. The car felt more controlled under braking into the slow elements and while accelerating out of sweepers. Best of all, the custom Delrin Bushings allowed me to get all of the benefits of the BMR tubular A-arms, making a very good set of A-arms even better. 9 runs and 1 spin made for a really good first test. And the Delrin Bushings passed with flying colors. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do over the course of the season. If you're interested in purchasing a set of these bushings, please contact Jacques Bene at jacquesbene57@gmail.com. I'll post another update on the bushings once I've done a few more events.